A レーン誰々、国名、そして名前の方があります。そして B レーン誰々、国名、名前の方があります。その後にジャッジのコールで At your marks、これが入ります。その声が入ると観客の皆さんにもちょっと静かにしていただいて静寂を作っていただきたいと思います。その前、選手がこちらの方にちょうどレッドブルのですねマークが見えてるかと思います。あのゲートのあたりからこのスピードのエリアに入ってくるんですが、このあたりにはぜひ皆さんにはですね拍手、それから声援なんかを送っていただいて頑張ーなんていう声をかけていただいて結構なんですが、特に At your marks、 この声がかかります。
Good morning and welcome back to Hachioji, day 2 of the IFSC Combined World Championships of 2019. Yesterday we had the women, today we have the men, and we may send someone forward for Olympic selection right here in this arena in Hachioji on the western edge of Tokyo. Charlie Bosco and Mike Langley here to talk you through the action. Mike, we ended up with a slightly confusing finish last night. Wasn't exactly clear what Janja Garnbret's score was on the lead wall. There were various appeals. It was a fairly frantic half hour, I should add, here in the arena, and it really mattered for Brooke Rabatou and Jessie Piltz. Was rectified in the end. Scores are live on the IFSC website, and we await the arrival of the men. Some drama, but slightly less, might be nice today.
It would be nice, but this is the Olympic combined. This is as big as it gets in competition climbing right now. Without a bit of drama, it'll be boring. I mean, bring on some more drama. Let's hope it's not based on who scored what and it comes down to judges' pills. We want to see drama on the wall with the speed, the boulder, and then the lead. We want to see interesting moves, we want to see hard moves, we want to see endurance routes, and I think that's what we're in store for today.
Yeah, I hope so. We've got a very strong field. Just to let you know that in order to qualify for this competition, you had to take part in all 3 disciplines in the main IFSC World Championship, where we awarded medals in each 3 disciplines. If you competed in all 3 and you gained a combined ranking, if you're in the top 20, then you progressed to this qualification round in the combined World Championship. So this is the top 20 combined athletes from the main World Championship. And it's Misha Pokolruaz, Mika Marwem, Nathaniel Coleman, Yerne Kruder, Stefano Gisolfi, Jan Hoyer, Rishat Kaibulin, Jongwon Chon, Yannick Floy, Meichi Narasaki, Rudolf Ruana, Keita Dohi, Ludovico Fasali, Alexander Megos, Sean McCall, Kai Harada, Kokora Fuji, Jakob Schubert, Adam Ondra and Tomoa Narasaki. Very impressive lineup. A few climbers might have been hoping they would have made it. Sadly did not. The competition was pretty fierce for those last few places and a few big names missed out. This is how they will run today on their first runs. Each climber will have 1 run in lane A and they'll then move over to lane B. Unlike a normal speed climbing final, you are not racing the person next to you in this qualification round, you are racing the clock. So the climbers will be ranked when they've had their run in lane A and their run in lane B, according to who had the quickest times. And you take your quickest time from your 2 runs.
What was really interesting about the women's speed combined competition yesterday was in the women's there was 3 what you'd call speed specialists. Whether you can really dictate that they're actually specialists anymore, considering what the results were, it was really quite fascinating to see them up against head-to-head against some of the more bouldering or lead specialists. Today, Ludovico Fasali, winner of the World Championships here in the speed competition already, and Rishat Kaibulin from Kazakhstan, he's also through, and that's really 2 proper speed climbers going through to this competition obviously it's important to remember, it says versus on the screen there, but for the combined qualification, it's about times, not about how if you beat your opponent or not. That comes over the next couple of days where it starts to go head to head.
Yeah, we will be using the phrase speed specialist, but climbers are becoming less and less specialist, but it's more to just identify who we might expect to be strong in each discipline. But the term is becoming increasingly obsolete as the Olympics looms. We're less than a year out. Hard to believe a year from now we'll have handed out the Olympic medals. But first, 20 men and 20 women have got to make it. We had some women confirmed yesterday in their qualifying round, and their final will take place tomorrow. There's a lot riding on that for the Japanese athletes in particular. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. But on the men's side, nobody yet through. And the top 7 climbers here will be put forward for Olympic selection. The obvious big asterisk, and the reason we've already confirmed some of the women for the Olympic selection, is that each country can only take 2 climbers. So if there are more than 2 climbers from a certain country in the top 7, then obviously 8th is good enough, and perhaps 9th, and so on and so forth. And yesterday we had 4 women in the top 9, which meant that 9th place was actually good enough to get you into the Olympic selection. Misha Pekoruaz will be out first, taking on Rudolf Ruana. Climbers are coming in reverse order in lane A of how they qualified for the combined. So Misha Pekoruaz on the left, he was 20th in the combined rankings, the lowest ranked combined athlete from the World Championship who made it into this final. He's pretty handy on the speed wall actually, Misha. Dipped under 7 seconds in the Speed World Championships. Rudolf, meanwhile, just had a fantastic World Championship pretty much from start to finish. 7.441, his best time from earlier on this week in the main Speed World Championships.
Rudolf looking absolutely pumped for this.
He had a dream World Championships semi-finals in both Boulder and Lead. Almost made the Boulder final. Didn't quite go to plan for Misha Pekoruaz, but he did enough to make it to the combined. Very quick start from him. Rudolf lost about 1/10 of a second on what he could have done for the start, and Misha looking very quick. 6.724.
Straight away you've got to think about the times. It's about times, not beating your opponent. Rudolf Ruana, even a 7.350 is a pretty handy time, slightly slower than his qualification time in the speed, slightly quicker, excuse me, just with the 7.3 rather than 7.4. And pretty decent start to the competition, good clean runs.
Yeah, just the way the speed wall is set up, you do get a flashing green light if you were the first to the top and you get a W next to your name, but just ignore that. We are only looking at time, we are not looking at who wins the inverted commas race. Mikael Marwem out next, brother of Bassa Marwem. Pretty good speed climbing coach to have, and it's certainly paying off. 6.280, Mikael's first fastest time of the week. And his opponent, Keita Dohi, a genuine bona fide all-rounder, 7.123. So we'd expect Mikael to be the quicker of these two by a shade under a second, would be my guess. We'll find out.
So easy to make mistakes on the speed wall, as we know, for those who follow speed climbing. So many times it comes down to a slip on the wall, especially even right on the buzzer.
Yeah, Keita Dohi actually, a slight slip, went to the wall a bit too early before he'd been introduced to the crowd. Look at the inside time, by the way, the inside number, the grey number, on the inside of the scores. That's the reaction time away from the pad, and Mikael blistering away in 0.2 of a second and clocking 6.250. Very quick time for him, and a 7.237 for Keita.
Yeah, that was very impressive from Mikael there. Super clean, super powerful, quicker than his qualifying time. Perfect start, fist bump. We saw this yesterday, really. Athletes really seem to be improving on their times from the speed qualification round.
Well, Mikael Marwem, very strong on the bouldering wall, pretty capable on the lead wall as well, so a big result here in speed will really set him up nicely, and that is a great start for him. He's already clocked 6.250. No doubt who the favourite would be if this was a race. We've got Nathaniel Coleman on the left, by no means slow on the speed wall, 6.933. But he is racing the recently crowned Speed World Champion, Ludovico Fasali, at 5.908, his best time the other night here in the arena. So if this was a race, rather than the race against the clock, Ludovico the clear favourite. But we're expecting both of them to dip under 7 seconds, and Ludovico capable of going under 6.
Nathaniel Coleman here really just got to focus on his time and not his opponent. His opponent will just disappear into his peripheral vision, all going by the form book. Just got to concentrate on the race, concentrate on his time.
As you would expect, Ludovico Fasali very, very quick, but Nathaniel Coleman going well. This could be a good time for both. 6.057 for Ludovico. 7.254 for Nathaniel. Nathaniel capable of going slightly quicker than that. Could probably knock 3 or 4 tenths off. Ludovico, same is probably true of him. So
yeah, just over a second quicker for Ludovico. It's so interesting to see what a second looks like on the wall. It's, you know, it's almost out of the frame on the camera shot. 15 metres high is the speed, what gives you an idea of how many metres per second they're going.
Now the pairings we're seeing the climbers run in now, they will stay the same. So once everybody is run, once we've had 10 races, can't get used to not calling them races. Once we've had 10 runs, the climbers will come out in the same pairings they did their first run, but in the opposite lane. So the climbers who are in lane A will go in lane B and vice versa, but they'll be up with the same climber. So Alex Megos and Jerne Kruder will climb together on their second runs, just in the opposite lanes. Jerne Kruder now on the left, Alex Megos on the right, both absolutely capable of featuring in the business end of this combined competition. Got to get off to a good start though on the speed wall. Jerne Kruder looks pretty keen to get on with this. 7.569 from him in the Speed World Championships, 8.945 from Alex in the Speed World Championships. Pretty similar start for both, away in about a quarter of a second from the timing pad, but it's Kruder who's got a real speed. Could have done without those stumbles, but 7.972 does not represent a bad return, and 8.442, pretty good for Alex.
Yeah, a couple of stumbles on there, no like big falls, just slightly, foot placement's just slightly off. Megos just seemed to just use the upper body, like 70-30 maybe on the upper body, just absolutely powering through the arms.
Yeah, Alex had a couple of foot slips, just didn't quite get the purchase he wanted on the right foot at about a third height, and I think that might have cost him a bit of time lower down, but still about half a second quicker than he was in the main Speed World Championship, so not a bad result at all. I think if Alex could get somewhere close to 8, he'd be pretty happy with that. And going under 8 would be dream territory. Now Stefano Ghisolfi and Sean McColl, two climbers very much committed to the combined format. Stefano 7.364 for him in the combined Speed World Championship. Sean McColl went dipped under 7 seconds at 6.997. So we'd expect, by the standards of non-speed specialists, pretty quick times from both climbers here.
Yeah, good thing about Sean McColl is he's been on the speed wall for years and years and years. For many years he was the overall champion in lead speed and boulder, the IFSC. Before it was the Olympic selection event.
Ready? This is a day he's waited for a long time, Sean. Both quick away off the pad, about quarter of a second reaction time for both. Sean marginally quicker so far, and has a big stumble. 7.748 for Stefano and 8.354 for Sean. He'll be disappointed with that because he was going well up until that stage.
It was pretty clean up to that point. I'm sure there could be a couple of improvements on the run. Just a few of the foot plates started off badly, about a third from the top. Left foot just seemed to slip slightly, and yeah, that big slip at the top. Well, it does have the second run though. Yeah,
we saw a couple of pretty significant slips. I don't think Stefano was very happy with his time either. He was 4/10 off his best from the Speed World Championships. But with Sean, it's one thing to slip, but if you have a slip so bad you end up going back down and then have to resume going up again, you really do lose a lot of time. So Sean, bit of work to do on the next run, and I think Stefano feels he could go quicker as well. Jan Hoyer now taking on Kai Harada. Jan, again, dipped under 7 seconds in the Speed World Championship, 6.943, and Kai, pretty similar, 6.887. So expect these two to be under 7 seconds if all goes to plan, and at a relatively similar speed.
Lane A, from Germany, Jan Hoyer. Lane B, from Japan, Kai Harada.
Ready?
Similar starting start for both, and they're very evenly matched right through the middle, but then Jan really just seems to lose his momentum, and it's Kai 6.979 and a very disappointing 11.776 from Jan. He would have been hoping for a fast time. He's worked on his speed climbing very, very hard. One of the better non-specialists out there, and you can see just lost all his momentum, couldn't quite get going again, left foot stumbled, and big pressure now, because if you get yourself behind going into the other disciplines, you've got a huge amount of work to do.
Yeah, I think so. Just the pressure now going into that second run is going to be huge. I don't think they can think about it too much though, because they've got to try and remain clean on the wall. That was a big race there between those two, Kai and Jan. You know, two people who you would expect to get up in that top 8 potentially. Both with not the best actually runs, especially from Jan. I spoke to him yesterday. He was really saying that he was feeling good coming into this combined. Really wanted to get on with it yesterday. Yeah, it's a big moment, and he's fallen at the first hurdle currently.
Rishak Kaibulin on the left now, a speed specialist in large inverted commas, 6.051. He was in the World Championship final earlier in the week. He takes on Kokoro Fuji, 6.640.
From Japan, Kokoro Fuji.
Kokoro, one of the Japanese team under real pressure, pretty much all are. There is such fierce competition for those 2 slots. Rishak away quicker as you would imagine, but Kokoro looking pretty clean as well. What can Rishak clock? 6.075, didn't realise he touched the pad.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. It's just as he hit the buzzer, it clearly went green, but he just felt like he just come short, and he went for the double tap just in case.
You don't often see that, because if you are the first to the top of the wall, your screen immediately goes green, so it's very obvious it's worked. I don't think he actually looked at the screen. Kokoro, by the way.
I don't think he actually touched that, Charlie.
You are absolutely right, Mike.
I have no idea what's happened there. I wonder if the judges have seen that as well. I wonder if the tape itself smashed into the wall, but that's a big problem.
I can see some judges walking across the screen. Mike, you are eagle-eyed in real time. Had an eye on Kokoro. Didn't see that, but you're absolutely right. He didn't touch the buzzer.
See, just on the right side of the stage, their technical delegate jumping in. I think they will call them off the stage here. What on earth they could possibly do about that, to be honest, because
well, one of the B-layers has clicked in Jongwon Chon, the other one hasn't clicked in Jakob Schubert. This is not good for them. Yeah, the judges have definitely spotted it. Mike, you are I was going to say wasted on the commentary world. You're excellent at that.
Bird spotting, maybe.
Bird spotting could be the way. I wonder if you can combine your 2 big skills of commentary
and looking at
bird
stuff.
spotting. Yeah, exactly. Also an expert route setter, but I'm struggling to see how bird spotting, commentary, and route setting will all fit together.
I'm just
very odd.
Figure out how that's even possible, to be honest.
The timing pattern. Okay, well, we're going to have Jongwon Chon and Jakob Schubert run. It's definitely been flagged. Again, 2 non-speed climbing specialists. Jakob not as quick as he can be in the main Speed World Championship, and he's made a mistake here in the combined. That's a quick time for Jongwon Chon, 6.922, 8.708 for Jakob. Jakob, again, another climber who's really worked on the speed wall, had a disappointing performance in the Speed World Championship and a massive slip here in the combined, and he would leave himself with so much work to do if he cannot improve on that time on the second run. So I have to say, I'm quite pleased to say they let those 2 run. It's always a bit harsh when you let someone out on the stage and then tell them they've got to wait. It would appear the races are continuing.
3 big slips now. We had Sean McCall, Jan Hoyer and Jakob Schubert, some of the favourites in the combined, all slipping. Yannick Floe now, bronze medal in the bouldering World Championships on the left, and Adam Ondra on the right.
From Germany, Yannick Floe.
Another huge matchup, so fascinating to see
Republic,
such amazing
Adam
climbers
Ondra.
from the lead and boulder dipping into the speed and doing pretty well. 7.86 from Ondra in the qualifiers and 7.7 from Yannick Floe.
Both away well. Adam Ondra, a big stumble from him, and another big stumble from Yannick Floen. Adam does not record a time. Yannick doesn't record a very good one either. 9.569. Well, sorry, Mike. The speed climbing non-specialists are falling like flies here.
Well, exactly what I was about to say. If you're watching speed as a combined for the first time, you've never watched speed before, it's easy to say, these, the lead and boulder specialists really don't have a chance on this speedball, but they have clocked good times going into this competition. So these are more just slips. There obviously is a difference of around a second between the best and the worst, but they still can climb the speedball. It's not as if they've got no ability on the speedball whatsoever.
Yeah, Jakob and Jan, both climbers who've really worked on their speed climbing, recording bad times. Adam Ondra falling, Sean McColl, big stumble. These are all decent speed climbers, albeit not specialists, and they have not performed here on their first run. Now, what a moment for the Narasaki family from Utsunomiya, just to the north of Tokyo, because on the left is younger brother Meiji, and on the right is older brother Tomoa. Most people, I think, believe that Tomoa will take one of those 2 spots in the Japanese team for the Olympics. It can take 2 per gender. Tomoa, you would imagine, is their best bet on the all-round, but they've got such depth to their team that nothing is guaranteed, and he needs to perform well, as does his brother. What a story it would be if they could both go to the Olympics, and they're both climbing well here. Tomoa with that springy style, absolutely flying and clocking a good time. 6.526.
Yeah, really good time, but it can go quicker. Went 3 temps quicker in the qualification, so good early run from Tomoa. It's good to get 1 in the bag and then really go hell for leather on the second run.
I think this is a good tactic from Tomoa, if it is a tactic, which is get a nice clean run. 6.5, very respectable in the combined speed competition, and then just go absolutely to the hilt on your next run. Just to let you know, I did have a quick word then with IFSC technical delegate Graham Alderson. They spotted what eagle-eyed Langley did, which was that he hadn't actually touched the pad. The speculation, as you see the scores on screen, I'll just quickly tell you, the speculation is that perhaps the lanyard touched the pad as he jumped, which would explain why the timing system stopped. It's a technical incident. He'll get to run again, but he'll probably run on his own. We're not 100% about exactly how it'll work, but he'll get another run, another first run, in addition to his second run that he would get anyway. And but he has a statutory minimum of 5 minutes rest before that second run. Okay. And here he is, yes. So he's going to run on his own, Rishat Kaibuli.
Yeah, luckily as a speed specialist, multiple runs back-to-back won't phase him at all. But, I mean, I don't want to start the rumour mill really early, but that seems like a pretty obvious big problem. But it's really dependent on how the tape really moves. I think if it's something that looks like it could flap backwards and forwards all the time, it makes sense that it's just the jump, because for the jump you really jump back and the tape really flicks to the wall really hard. Anyone who's been on an auto belo will see that before. The tape there is a really big, thick bit of solid tape.
I have to say, I didn't actually see it. It may not have been the tape that hit it. We don't know. That was just a first guess of what might have happened. Anyway, he will run on his own, so this is effectively his first run. Absolutely blistering. Nobody else to worry about, and clocking 5.863.
That's how you do the speed wall, that's for sure.
Well, I will be fascinated to see, I think realistically, Ludovico Fasali, the only climber who's going to be capable of matching or bettering that. That well could be Rishat Kaibuli leaving the speed wall in first place.
Well, and what's massively important about that, as we saw this yesterday with Alejandra Milazov, is if you get a 1 next to your name, she was, I think, 18th and 19th in the 2 other disciplines, and she went through to the Olympics. It's crazy, so a 1 next to your name is hugely important here.
Well, that is a massive result. I'll tell you what, if you think he was being thrown by the technical incident, not a bit of it. Goes under 6 seconds, which in a combined is absolutely blistering. I know he's a speed specialist, but that is a very, very quick time. So climbers have all had 1 run now. So the pairing who started us out, Misha Pekoruaz, who was on the left against Rudolf Ruana, who was on the right, now come out for their second runs. And
well, what's interesting
on the other side
about that is he's taken that number 1 spot away from Ludovico Fasali with that rerun. Drama here already.
Oh, kidding.
Because a multiple of 1 is so much better, obviously, than a multiple of 2 that Ludovico might end up going away with.
Well, as you say yesterday, Alexandra Miroslav, 1:18.19 was enough. So Rudolph and Misha both away quickly. Misha quicker through the middle section and clocking a good time, 6.655 to Rudolph's 7.287.
Double fist up from Misha, really good clean run, skipping hold number 4, as pretty much all of these athletes are.
Both climbers going roughly a tenth of a second quicker than their first run there.
Yeah, some big runs about to come up, people who really need a good second run.
そうですね、より体も動くようになりますので、タイムが上がってくること多いんじゃないかなと思います。
Just a note of sort of technical makeup of how these walls work. The auto belay is usually around a metre out from the top of the wall where it's hung, so the tape hitting the pad issue is very, very rare. Just trying to look from our position here exactly how far it is. It's always generally based upon the facilities at the local wall. Here it's a steel beam in the roof that it's hung off that's diagonally to the wall. So I wonder if any just small detail like that might just affect how the tape runs. But that's why it's important to get the auto belay so far away from the pad.
Keita Dohi now on the left against, well, racing alongside Mikhail Marwem. Mikhail Marwem 6.250. Really, really good run from him on the first go, and Keita 7.237. I think Mikhail Marwem might just go for an absolute full tilt run here and risk it a little bit, and that certainly looks to be the case, and sadly the risk did not pay off. Still a more than respectable time at 7.124 for Keita. Represents a pretty good improvement. 7.159 for Mikhail. As I say, really just went full tilt. I think you can see from even the first couple of moves that he was happy with his first time and figured he might as well risk it. I think there's quite a few climbers who'd be happy with his second best time, 7.159. So, about to come out, Ludovico Fossali, and actually this is a massively important run for him, and he's taking on Nathaniel Coleman. Every run on every discipline is important, but Ludovico Fossali, when he comes out now, if he could take first place from Rishat Kaibulin, would almost certainly leave the speed wall in first place, and that could be enormous for him. If he leaves in second on his strongest discipline, that could completely transform the look of his combined World Championships. Ludovico earlier on 6.057. The time he's got to beat if he wants to claim an almost certain first on the speed part of this combined competition is 5.863, so keep a close eye on that. And Nathaniel Coleman 7.254 on his first run.
That would be a PB for this World Championships as well. 5.9 is his best.
So Ludovico with everything to play for, got away quickly, keep an eye on the clock. 5.889, he is slower than Rishat Kaibulin.
Yeah, he's looking around to his coach. He thought he'd done enough. He's now holding his hand out whilst we watch the replay, just so you can see live off to our left, just asking his coach if it's number 1 or not. Big celebration. It obviously isn't enough.
Oh, that's so close. 200ths of a second. And I have to say, that could be the clincher for his combined World Championships. Already drama. We were hoping for a slightly more relaxed day after the stresses and strains of yesterday. Already realised that was a vain hope. We are going to be gripped by this from start to finish, I suspect. Today there was us hoping for a nice day of watching the climbing. Already that's out of the window. It's going to be stress, tension, nerves, drama. Here anyway is Alex Megos and Jerne Kruder. Kruder in the first run, 7.972, so dipped under 8 seconds. Alex Megos, 8.442. Definitely capable of going quicker, had a couple of slips early on.
Ready.
Kruder very quickly away. Alex lost a bit of time, just getting away slowly. Let's see what Jerne can do on the clock. 7.295, he's happy with that, and 8.295 for Alex. So exactly to the nearest thousandth of a second, 1 second between them.
Good clean run from Jerne. see how much it means to these athletes when they do just get a nice clean run, hitting the holds all perfectly, exactly how they wanted it. Pressure is just immense here, and I think it seemed quite so immense, but they're having a laugh. But you know, well, you've got to have a laugh when you're with Megos. He doesn't know how to kind of be serious, does he? But just based on how the competition went yesterday, when all of a sudden there was tears in the arena and people were taking their tickets for Tokyo and everything, the pressure's big here, especially for these two after two of not the best runs of their lives on the first round.
Yeah, both got work to do. As we said, Sean McCall has been a combined athlete for as long as anybody, but did not have a great run on the speed wall. Work to do. Stefano Ghisolfi also a little bit of work to do. Shout out, by the way, we missed him in amongst the excitement of whether Ludovico Fasali was going to go faster than Rishat Kaibulin. Nathaniel Coleman clocked a 7.024, which was about 0.2 of a second quicker than his previous run, and looked pretty happy with it. So Sean on the left, Stefano on the right, both with work to do, both putting themselves in a bit of trouble if they can't find some speed here. Both explode out early on, and Sean falls again. Stefano, meanwhile, going reasonably clean, 7.347 and 8.361 for Sean.
Yes, nearly 2 seconds off his best possible time from this championships. Big slip, at which point he did actually do really well to maintain some pace.
It's actually almost exactly the same time. He got 8.361 that time. He was actually quicker on the first one, but only by 100th of a second, 8.354.
Yeah, he's one of the better speed athletes going into this round. That's two disappointing runs from Sean. That is a big problem to start the competition.
Kai Harada, Jan Hoyer now. Earlier on, Jan, really bad run. Multiple slips, stumbles, never got going. 11.776, he only climbed at over 10 seconds in the last run. He is under pressure, as was Sean McCall, as was Stefano Ghisolfi. Kai Harada, meanwhile, at 6.979 on his previous run.
Lane A from Japan, Kai Harada. Lane B from Germany, Jan Hoyer.
So Jan with real work to do. Kai really just looking to improve on what was already a pretty decent time. Jan keeping it clean but slips. Oh, Jan Hoyer, 8.357 puts him under big pressure for the rest of today. Not the run he wanted, more than capable of going under 7. And another big slip. Oh, the left foot went that time, and he actually ended up going back down and having to get completely restarted. 6.634, a good time for Kai. I think he'll take that one. But Jan, has got big pressure on him now.
Huge moment already here in the three discipline combined. Just the left foot missed the hold, and it just completely lost the momentum.
Kokora Fuji now. Closest to the camera, he'll be running on the left. Rishat Kaibulin has, I'm just looking at who's left to come. Well, it would take, frankly, a miracle, although after yesterday's highs and lows, I rule out nothing. It would take a miracle for Rishat Kaibulin not to leave the speed wall in first place in the combined competition. I'm not sure what the plan is here for Rishat.
Surely
it should be in the bag.
Maybe, it depends how much he feels each individual run takes out of him and his skin. He might as well just cruise to the top here.
I think he might as well. I mean, there's some quick speed climbers still to come, but surely no one quick enough to get over 6 seconds. Certainly not to get 5.8. Kokoro, meanwhile, 6.774 on the last run. And a big improvement, 6.531. Rishat actually dips under 7, but a big slip cost him.
With absolutely full gas, as you expect from a proper competitor.
Yeah, that's still a run that several climbers would kill for.
Absolutely.
But you can see it was the right foot. It was a big dry fire as well. Jongwon Chon and Jakob Schubert now, they were the climbers that were we slightly missed in the confusion of Rishat Kaibulin's false finish. Not often you get a false start, not often we get a false finish. Jakob Schubert on the left, a very capable speed climber, albeit not a specialist, but 8.708 in his first run leaves him with work to do. Jongwon Chon, 6.922. He's capable of going a tiny bit quicker, Chon, but I think he will not be unhappy with that first run. Jakob, a bit of a decision to make here. Do you just absolutely go full tilt, or do you just knock a couple of tenths off your time, just slow the speed down 1 or 2% and just clock a nice solid score around 7 seconds? I think he'd be advised to do the latter after we've seen quite a lot of messy runs, and he does. 7.385.
Really nice from Chon as well. He's looking particularly good on the speed where he's 6.884. He's been good on both his runs, Chon, and Jakob importantly gets the job done.
Yeah, that's really good work from Chon. Had already clocked a good time, probably took a little more risk there, and he's knocked a tenth off for his efforts. Jakob, I think, probably took a pretty sensible course of action there, which was to get a nice clean run in the low sevens rather than really try and put the hammer down and get a miracle score, because he needed to get something half decent on the scoreboard, and he's done just that. Adam Ondra now on the left. The only climber not to log a time. Jan Hoyer logged a not particularly good time in the first run, but he did at least log a time. Adam fell and didn't clock anything, so anything is a bonus here. But realistically, I think he'll need to go pretty comfortably under 7.5 for this not to be a disaster. Yannick Floe, meanwhile, 9.569, another climber with work to do. So big pressure on both of these climbers. This could have a major effect on the outcome of today. Both climbers away well, but Adam stumbled almost immediately. Yannick going pretty well, but Adam with real work to do. Yannick 7.369. He'll take that 9 flat for Adam.
Yeah, Adam's raging there. 2 disastrous runs for him. Missed basically the second foothold, which is about as bad as it gets for a start. It's a real disappointment for Adam. You can see as he falls off.
And then, yeah, sorry Mike, missed a middle handhold as well.
Yeah, he just lost his momentum completely, got inside his head. Raging as he came down off the wall. Does give the crowd a little wave as he comes off. And just to add into the drama a little bit here, Charlie, of people who really should be doing good runs not doing runs, there's still a bit of drama down the front of the wall. Technical Delegates kind of getting surrounded by certain team members. I think it's the Italians who are kind of protesting slightly about this timing issue, but that's all in the rumour mill at the moment. We're waiting until we hear some proper facts.
Rumour mill in climbing? Surely not. Tomoa Narasaki now on the left, running alongside his brother Meichi. Tomoa 6.526 on his previous run, and Meichi 7.774. So Tomoa, I think with all that's gone on, we'll consider that a pretty decent score, but I think also we'll feel it can go a bit quicker. I would not be surprised if Tomoa goes for a high risk, potentially high reward strategy here and just goes hell for leather to try and hammer home his advantage on the speed wall, and that seems to be the case. He got away quickly, away in 0.191, 6.352 his reward, and Meichi comfortably under 7 as well, 6.776.
Yeah, the brothers are pretty impressed with themselves there. See them looking at each other as they came down. Both got relatively clean runs. Meichi just stalled a little bit, just around half height, but managed to keep it going. Blistering, really.
Nice to see as well, wave between the two. If you can't enjoy competing in a combined world championship next to your brother, you're in the wrong game. So the speed wall delivers some thrills and spills here. I mean, yesterday in the women's competition, it generally felt that most people were around the speed they would have wanted. I think Shauna Coxey maybe might have felt she could have gone a bit quicker, but I think generally people got what they were hoping for within a tenth or two. Completely different story here today. World champion Ludovico Fasali will be disappointed with second. Mikko Mawem, Tomoa Narasaki, Kokoro Fuji, Kai Harada, Misha Pekoraz, Jongwon Chon, Nathaniel Coleman, Keita Dohi. I think they'll all be pretty happy, but as we scroll down the order, you will see some climbers who will not be particularly happy. I'm thinking about Jakob Schubert, I'm thinking about Alex Megos, Sean McCall, Jan Hoyer, Adam Ondra. That is a scarcely believable bottom 4. Apologies, Meiichi Narasaki was a 7.774. But high drama here on the speed wall. Lots more surprises than we saw yesterday in the women's competition.
Yeah, big dramas really right at the bottom of that list. Now it's going to be about who can win a single discipline. That is the biggest task for these guys now. This is a very, very interesting start to the combined competition. People who are very capable of making decent runs, falling badly on both runs I should say. Yeah, big upsets. And for those, like I said before, it's not as if they're not capable of good runs. Sean McCall, Adam Ondra, Jan Hoyer, they're all there. They're all very, very capable. But today it just didn't happen, and that is quite often the case in speed climbing. It's so easy to make a mistake when you're trying to go as fast as possible on this sequence. It's very technical, it's very fast, it's easy to make slips.
It certainly is, and we also had high drama as well with Rishat Kaibulin. Maybe the tape slapped it, maybe it was the vibration of the wall as he banged it. We don't know. Either way, technical incident, and he ran again and clocked the fastest time of the day. That is it from Mike and I for now. We will be back in about 40 minutes time with the bouldering round, and in the meantime, here's a quick look through some of the highlights of the speed climbing this morning.